Hi, guys, and welcome back to Transits and Tactics. And we are experiencing the transit in gate 51, the gate of shock. But before you get all, freaking out, um, don't, because not necessarily this is going to affect you in a very negative way. I think that when we hear words like shock, straight away there is this negative connotation, but the shock can be a good thing. It could be someone, someone remembering something that you really like, and giving you like a little gift or something. That's shocking. So something unexpected. And usually what happens with the shocks as well is that they sort of knock us out of what I call a zombie mode as we are, in this trance that is life on an everyday basis. The shocks come in and they help us shake things off. They help us let go of things that don't serve us and that we're holding on to for too much, maybe for too long. The shock is here to basically shake you into growth, spiritual growth, personal growth, adaptation. And adaptation is really, really important because, in order for things to evolve, you have to, I'm the third line person, so you have to break those bonds you made before in order for the progress to happen. This is something that's inevitably is going to happen. I think what might happen this transit, and also considering that we just had the eclipses and all these energies, that if you're holding on to something that doesn't serve you, there could be something shocking that will try and give you the bird's eye view of the energies that are happening. There's also a lot of competitive drive, because this is a gate that sits in your will center, and 65% of the population, maybe more, don't have the will center defined. I have a completely open will center. So when this gate is activated, you start suddenly feel like, oh, nothing is a bother to me. I can do everything. I'm capable, and things that before, for example, there's a specific project on my mind, and I was saying before, this is going to take so much time, but somehow in the last couple of days, I am feeling really sort of like, sure, I can do it in a day. And it's so good that, to keep an eye on the transits and the energy that they bring, because sometimes it might be just the feeling you're getting under this influence, so jumping into this project could prove that the transit passes in a couple of days, and I'll end up with a lot of work on my hands. So I'm going to wait until I make that decision, and this is what I suggest that you do. If you don't have a defined will center, that means that the willpower or doing things through willpower is not really natural to you. So wait it out. It's good to focus the intentions, to have the project completed, so to have something, to make it, to bring it somewhere to fruition, but take action when the transit passes. However, there's always a but, right? If you follow your strategy, your type strategy, and your decision-making authority, if you in your body, in your gut, something is correct. This is not just the logic, this is not the mental process, this is not even a willpower. It says it's correct. This is the time where you can take the leap of faith, and you can, dive into this future without knowing what it holds, just based on your trust. But that trust has to be grounded in your body. And you know how when when you really know. And I think that this is exactly, the way to assess this. Where is this desire comes from? Is it just excitement or willpower or whatever is, brewing into you, or just a calm knowing, I don't even know what's on the other side of this, but I feel I need to do it. And it always works out in the most beautiful way. Even if it's a lesson, it's not about things always being, positive or working out the way you think they're going to work out. That's, I think, is the beauty. The beauty of manifestation in general is that it'll bring you to your destination, but the journey, you're not in control of the actual details of the journey, what you have to learn, how you have to come to that vision. So focus on the vision. This is a wonderful energy as well. Slow down to accelerate with all these competitive energies pushing you into taking action and being the best and jumping into things almost for the sake of them. Pause, reflect, align. You might this is the gate of shock, so there could be unexpected things, some of them quite serious, some of them just little light things. Just pause, take a breath, because there's no rush usually when it comes to making aligned decisions. Whether even if it's in your gut, it's not going to go anywhere, right? So taking a little break, I think, is really important during this influence. Then we have Earth in gate 57. This is the gate of intuitive awareness, and it's one of the deepest connections to your intuition. And the fear of this gate is always future oriented. So what you can do is you can dwell on, oh my God, I don't know what's ahead. So while you can be, pushed into taking the leap of faith, the other side of that, the gate 51, could be feeling very cowardly about the future, because the 57th gate is saying, hey, we don't know what's ahead. So the lesson here, it really is to trust your intuition, even if you don't know how secure or how correct, even if you're feeling overwhelmed about the future. Keep in mind, this is again, it's just an influence of the transit. Let it be, park it for a while, and see how you can come to that clarity. And then we have harmonic gate 25. And right now, and Anita, you know more of this than I do, the Neptune resides in 25. So right now, everybody has this channel of initiation 2551 formed, which is the energetic influence that activates spiritual awakening, transformation, initiates you into something that can completely change the direction of your entire life, even, so it's a beautiful energy. It's a beautiful energy, especially when you're aware of it, of these influences, and you can just work with it and not fight it. So it's a very powerful time now to break through previous limitations. And I think that's what Neptune is kind of encouraging us to do, personal growth. And just whatever you're doing, go within and ask yourself if this is your truth, because at the end of the day, there is your way, and that's the only your way, and it's unique to only you. And I think that every one of us is just figuring out this way and becoming, when we're doing it more and more, then you're becoming stronger and stronger in the conviction that being you is the way, right? And this, all these forces, they're just nudging us towards this discovery of our true self, I think. Anita, how are you experiencing this week? I personally didn't have any shocking situations just yet. I see the competitiveness and all that, but I don't really see anything shocking. Hopefully, there's going to be no, last transit was quite turmoil for me. So, how are you?
I love this energy, but I set it up to be super surprises. So if it is shocking, that it's a shocking, lovely thing in my life. Because really, with this energy, it is disruptive. It is that switch on, switch off energy. So it's very interruptive would be the best way to describe it. And it's kind of what I love about it is, and what really needs to be, I think, expressed here is that these transits and the energies and how they're interacting together are giving us a heads up on what we're experiencing. It's almost like your self development journey. What am I experiencing today? What did I experience yesterday? And what can I look forward to tomorrow? It's really giving us a guide of the energy being available for us to do things, right? That we might not. So, this energy is very initiating energy, but very initiating with respect to your soul purpose, your spiritual purpose. The gate 20, when you have a big planet activated in a channel and the sun are one of the personal planets, that's when it's very personal for everybody, and everybody is feeling this, right? And with Neptune in the 25, what we're experiencing, the challenge really is, how do we stay connected to our instincts, to our sense of what we love and our natural direction, to allow us to bring our spirit, our essence, our gifts into a resourceful situation. So this is a fantastic manifesting energy for your business, where the will center is about, okay, what's worth the push and what isn't, what's worth the hassle or what isn't. And while we have a lot of energies in Pisces now, we really are being invited, look, let go the old battle, let go the crisis. This energy is telling us, look, we keep highlighting to you things that you need to let go. You're resisting. And the more you resist, the more it persists. So if you're resisting your anxiety around money, for example, it's going to escalate. So you can't afford that. So use these energies to step you into amazing surprises around where money can show up in a way that you've never dreamt it can happen. In something like that. Um, and with the fear of the future, with the 57 gate instinct, playing with this, anchoring this energy. The challenge is to learn and trust your gut and your decision strategy, because when you know this, and this is why I've been offering a session about getting your decision strategy sorted, because this helps us start to become our own advocate. It helps us to be more confident in what we want in our lives. And we stop comparing. We stop the competitive thing, comparisonitis. We stop that and we start realizing, hey, actually, I'm ready for the win-win. I I don't need to look at Facebook and go, oh my God, she's doing so well. Why haven't I? Or, we don't need to do that anymore. We can, if we see someone doing something that we like, gosh, well, what's your version of it?
I
And
love that. May I just say, somebody
yeah,
along the way said something. When life presents you abundance, this means that this is possible for you. It doesn't mean that you're not doing it as well as them. That just shows you this is possible. A Porsche is parked in front of your front door. That just says this is possible for you. If you would love that, this is up to you, but there's abundance, and it's up to you whether you want it or not, because what you focus on, you attract. But we tend to focus on the lack. Oh, I don't have that. I never have money to buy this. And that's what we're
ex-
attracting.
exactly. And if you focus on the hurt, you're going to keep your suffering
Yeah.
going. And that's what's beautiful about this energy. And also what's shifting today, which is huge, is Jupiter is moving off that 35-36 line. So it's moving off the button. So we're taking our hand off the switch of everything being in crisis and constantly yearning and constantly waiting. And we're moving into the space where waiting isn't necessarily for something to happen. Waiting is becoming present to what wants to happen. And they're two very different entities. So as I said, the finger is coming off the switch of that consistent crisis, but now the gate 51 is kicking in. And you'll notice the last Chiron has been in 51 on and off for a couple of years, or for at least a year anyway. And when the Chiron was in that gate 51 and Neptune in the gate 25, it was about discovering or awakening your, say, old Chiron wound, where you feel wounded around your ability to shine in your business and brings. So we're getting a continual education by this universe that inside we're feeling conflicted about shining, about showing up, about doing our marketing, and about wondering what works for us. And if that's your case, well, don't worry about it, because honestly, this is also the breakthrough energy. We just need to watch that 57, that our fear of the future is so big, our fear of not being certain, that we become paralyzed.
Yeah.
So this is take the action, but take the guided action, right? Take that guided action. And it's about it's intuitive action. This is where we're going. There's so much information out there. There's so much fake news. We truly can't trust it. But what we can trust is ourselves. What we can control is ourselves. And if you even go back over the last 3 or 4 transits and tactics, you'll see a whole theme of where we're literally being cradled along our personal development process. And as I said, the more we resist it, the more the crisis persists.
It's so true. And then with the shocks as well, anywhere you look now, you turn the telly, there's everything. And this is the transit, but it's also been, as you said, the Chiron is in 51 on and off. This is all the shit that you see, it's here to shock you. Shock you
Yeah.
into what? shock you into finding your true self, your purpose in a very individual way, because 51 is an individual gate. It's not about the collective, it's about you and only you, and about you walking your talk and, manifesting what you focus on. And that's good to know. This is good to know that you can take a step back a little bit from everything that's happening. You can actually embody this individual energy where whatever's happening on the collective, you're on the outside of that. The individual circuitry is the circuit is the theme of the outsider. So this is where, this is about you. And I love that because
Mm.
it gives you the power of not getting stuck in the fear of the collective because of the shocking events that are happening all over the world. You don't have to be just in the States. There's UK, there's Europe is all going right wing, and God knows what's happening everywhere else. Everywhere things are, there's something happening in the world.
Yeah.
It's scary, but it's
Yeah.
good because the old systems are breaking. They're being a bit extreme, but they're breaking. Something new, a very new way of life is being developed, and we get to watch this. So, as an outsider, you can actually maybe not get involved in the whole of, the drama, and just pause and see
Yeah.
where you are guided to take action with this. I think that everything here right now, and this transit is just highlighting this. Now we're only in the third day, or I
Yeah.
think so. Things are
Yeah.
still can unfold. We don't know what we're going to be facing, but I think it's really interesting. So don't take it as a face value, gate of shock, bad. It's a really
Yeah.
beautiful energy right now.
Exactly. And, there's a place where, while that distraction can be to the chaos, there is plenty chaos for us to distract ourselves to. As human beings, distraction is a natural coping mechanism for us. So let's bring it into a superpower and distract ourselves from the drama into the connection and decide what we need to do from there. Because as you said, it is individual energy. I remember years ago being in this because I have a significant individual energy in my chart. And I made a decision that went against the grain. I was deciding to leave work and go back to college. And at the time, work was scarce. So people were there, oh, are you crazy? This is the only job you're going to ever have. Why would you want to leave? And with this energy, the actions that you take, you don't always see the benefit of it straight away. It's when you look back on 2020. So, but I was completely convinced. I knew I was doing the right thing. I went back to college, finished my education. And when the jobs did become plentiful, I was on top of the pile. I had my choice of what job I wanted where, which was unheard of for
Yeah.
the previous 10 years in Ireland. So that's this energy, the individual energy. You're the trailblazer. This is like your way. You're the pioneer of your thing. Of course you are, right? Because if you're not, well, who are you? Like, you can't follow anybody's stuff anymore. You're finding it's not working. So it's about being the pioneer and your own advocate with respect to what you're doing next and how you want to put it out there. And I would definitely be an advocate for listening to that gut. And I don't have the gut as my decision strategy, but listening to that inner knowing that says, yeah, do this now and open up to the amazing surprises that are going to unfold as a result, right? This is so you can play this, and this is where the mind and imagination can really serve you, distracting yourself back to balance, which is really cool.
That is so beautiful. So yes to the surprises, yes to the shocks that we do need, because sometimes I like a little ass kicking ever so often, because I
Yeah.
know that we can get really lazy and passive and procrastinate, and then a little something kicks you into action and you're saying, hang on a second, what am I even doing? And what you said just now, in hindsight, in a moment, of course, every shock there comes with, there is a sense of like a physical shock. Your body will be in some sort of form of, response, well, shock. But that's good. That's good because that gives us a perspective, so we can realign and we can readjust and we can adapt to the new way of being. So that's what we wish for you. And thank you so much for being with us. And we will see you in the next transits and tactics.